2001 George Jenkins Boulevard, and the code enforcement officer is Angela Kaiser.
Days.
30 days, is that, do you accept?
Yes.
Okay, so 30 days would be January 10th, 2021. And she'll have you sign a paper. And then you said, what's the next one? 15?
It's the
Last one. Okay, so it's 03099, and the address is 4226 Old Road 37, and the hearing officer is, I know I don't, is it you? Okay, I was like, I don't want to mess this up.
30 days for both.
30 days?
Which page is that? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, 15, page 15.
30 days?
30 days, do you accept? Okay. Same date, so it'll be January 10th, 2021. And then the next one, page 23. $30 days, and you said it's what? Second one down. Okay, so it's page 23, 04685, and the address is 4226 Old Road 37, and you said 30 days, and you accept. Okay. And that was all of them? Okay, so you'll see her to sign those forms. Thank you. And January 10th, 2021. Okay. Yes, sir. How are you? Okay, what page number? 21. Okay, so do you want to be heard then? Because this is where they do a recommendation. Okay, well, if you want to do a hearing, we're just doing summary right now, so you'll have to wait. Okay, just have a seat, yep, and we'll get to that when we're ready. We're back. Okay, what page? 16 and 17. So we're going to do 16 first. So page 16, and which address?
This is for 28609 Highway 27 North.
I'm on page 16 and I don't see that.
On 16, it's the, you do the second one down.
Second one? Okay.
The second.
Oh, okay, okay. All right, so it's page 16, 03277, and the address is 1880 North Crystal Lake Drive, and the hearing officer is Christian Perry.
60 days?
60 days. Do you accept 60 days?
I do.
Okay. So 60 days will be February 9th, 2021. Okay, and then you have the next one down. So 03288. Am I going too fast?
No.
Okay. 1880 North Crystal Lake Drive. Christian Perry, hearing officers.
60 days?
60 days, do you accept?
I do.
Okay. So February 9th, 2021, and then that was page 16 as well. And
One on the bottom.
next one? Okay. So page 16, 03289, and the address is 1880 North Crystal Lake Drive, hearing officer Christian Perry.
60 days?
60 days, do you accept?
I do.
Okay. It'll be the same date, February 9th, 2021. And then you said, what was the other?
Got 2 on 17.
Okay.
The second
Oh,
one
I
down.
see it. Okay. So page 17, case number 03291, and the address is 1880 North Crystal Lake Drive. Hearing officer Christian Perry.
60 days?
Do you accept 60 days? Okay. And the last one.
One on the bottom.
Yep. So page 17, case number 03298, address 1880 North Crystal Lake Drive, hearing code enforcement officer Christian Perry.
60 days?
60 days, do you accept?
I do.
Okay. And then you'll see the,
I need a signature on every one of these.
Sure.
are you back? And what page number? 20? Oh, 26, okay. And Ruby, right? Okay, so page 26, case number 01499, address 733 North Lorry Avenue, and the the code enforcement officer is Carlos Cruz.
120 days.
120 days, do you accept? Okay, so 120 days, I don't even know.
April 10th.
April 10th. So that'll be April 10th, 2021. You'll sign a paper. And do they get a letter?
Yeah,
Or?
you'll get a notice in the mail. I'll send an order out. You'll get a notice in the mail.
Okay, fantastic. All right, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Just ask if anybody else-
Is there anyone else that would like to request summary? Okay.
Okay, you'll get a notice in the mail.
Did you want to? Okay. Um.
Yeah, you have a case, Jenna Lewis. Okay. You can take a summary. You want to talk, you don't want to take summary?
Oh, so yeah. Go ahead.
Well, summary just means that you want more time. So you just need more time. I'm not sure what the one was, I think we did in here. Christian.
Yes.
1442 Shore Acres Drive on page 6, at the bottom. Yeah, he can tell you what it is,
Give me 10 days on that one.
but she wanted to know what it is.
She doesn't know what it is.
Yeah, I have to actually look at the case. I don't know what the issue was up there off the top of my head.
Let me pull it up.
I never scheduled my next inspection either. Oh,
You
no,
want
that's
me
March.
to
That's
show
March
you
of
some
20.
pictures?
Yeah, please.
I mean, you might as well hear the case if you're gonna put the pictures up.
Oh.
He's just trying to show her the pictures so she can
Yeah,
decide if she's
she
gonna take
didn't know
summary.
what the problem was. So, well, we're done with summary, so we can go ahead and start hearing cases. So I'll go to the front.
We have to wait and see what she does.
Oh, okay.
So it's all
Moving too fast.
It's gotta be stored somewhere. And then all the overgrowth along the edge of the house has to be trimmed down as well. I did notice it's been being mowed, but all that's gotta be put away.
Okay,
So 10 days?
can I get 30? I'm leaving for work today. I'm gonna cut that out. Is that for-
30 days.
Oh, 30 days? Okay, what page 6, right?
6 at the bottom.
So page 6, case number 01670, 30 days, do you accept? Okay, and the address is 1442 Shore Acres Drive. So 30 days will be January 10th, 2021. And was there anyone else that wanted to try to do summary?
Order in the mail.
Okay, so we're gonna start hearing cases now, so I'll go to the front.
So
And,
there's the cases of people that are still here.
so I'll just call it, and if they come up.
Well, if you have, you go through any ones that have a sticker, that, yeah, so you'll start with that one.
So case number 01917, 123 Lake, I'm gonna say this wrong. Beulah Drive. It's Brandon Pedersen, LLC. Okay, so, yeah, you can come up. And the hearing officer is
Well, Marshall.
Saniqua Marshall. So did you wanna?
Right here.
Oh, I said that wrong. I keep saying that.
What page was that again? That is on page 9. I think they need your
She's gonna start.
Yeah,
Did they
so
get his
you can
name?
go ahead and start, you can start first.
Saniqua Marshall, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. This is for case LCE 20-01917 at 123 Lake Beulah Drive. The owner is Brandon Peterson, LLC. The violation is for ordinance 3371, open, unsecured, and unoccupied building. The date of violation was March 10th, 2020, and to be corrected by March 20th, 2020. A reinspection was done on October 28th, 2020, and the pictures taken on December 4th, 2020 shows that the violation still exists. We recommend compliance by December 21st, 2020, or a $150 per day fine be imposed.
Thank you. Am I allowed to talk?
Yes, go ahead.
Your turn.
Okay. Yeah, that's no problem. I called.
Just state your name for the
Oh,
record.
my name is Brandon Pedersen. I'm neither disputing or agreeing. I just did not know. I got the letter right before you guys shut down for Corona. I called into the office to ask to meet with the officer, but you guys shut your offices down. I was told I was going to get a call back. I went down. I apologize. I had it doing inspections. The big door was open, so I shut that thinking that's what. Well, I didn't know it was the windows. I leave the windows open just because it's an empty building just to get airflow in, but that's fine. I can go shut the windows without a problem. I just wasn't sure what it was, and then I never heard back on it, but I got multiple letters in the mail, and I fixed a few things, so I just assumed it was solved.
So can you fix?
Oh, yeah, I can go fix that without a problem.
Okay, so we're gonna say the recommendation, it'll be taken care of by December 21st, 2020, or $150 fine per day.
That's fine. This is just the photos you showed me was the only problem?
Yes, and I can, if you have any questions and you want me to meet you at the property, we can go and I can meet you.
Did you send me the other letters too?
Yes.
And you were satisfied with everything on those?
I would have to look at those other cases to be
Okay.
able to
Do you have a-
determine, but I can.
Do you have a card I can get and I can call it?
Yes,
like-
I can
So
give
you
you my
guys can
contact.
work that out.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's fine. I'll get off the mic. Mic
you.
drop. Thank you.
Okay, so case number 02088. Oh wait, we did that one, sorry. That one's good.
Or did you, I don't know, I think Tammy would still need you to go ahead and make a finding in that
Oh.
case, and,
What do I need to say?
well, you're to find them in violation, right? Or-
Find it in violation? And,
You have to state that you're finding them in violation.
And the deadline,
Whatever date they give you, or $50, $100.
oh, okay, so I find that they're in violation and that they will remedy the situation by December 21st, 2020, or they will be subject to a $150 fine per day.
$150.
Yeah,
Did you say
150.
150.
You're good.
Perfect.
Okay, keep going. That one's done. Okay, so case, page 21, case number 03986, address 4918 Fox Run Place, and the code enforcement officer Dennis Browning. And I would ask Dennis if you would state your case first.
Dennis Browning, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. This is case LCE 20-03986. The address 4918 Fox Run Place. The owners are Michael and Dwayne Huckabee. The property was cited for violation of Chapter 46 in regards to a dangerous tree that tree limbs had fallen onto the neighboring property. City's recommendation is to comply by December the 21st of 2020, or a $50 per day fine be imposed.
You said December 21st, 2020?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Hi, my name is John Michael Huckabee.
Can you state your name first?
My name is John Michael Huckabee. I live at 4918 Fox Run Place with my wife for the last 22 years. What we've got happening is that the tree has always been in this condition, well, not this bad condition. We've been trying to let her know that we need to take some of the limbs down over the last 5 or 6 years. She's never responded to us. I've never actually sent her a certified letter until this all occurred. She had stated in the letter that we had never did anything. We came over that night to help her try to remove some of the limbs from property. We also, in one of these back pictures, you'll see that the limbs are down in between our two fences. Her fence is just around her pool. Our fence is across our property line. Another back or two. There. Some of those were left. One more back again. But those larger ones are actually on our property. We removed those two sections of fence panel and then pulled them into our yard. What we've got going on is that the elevation of that tree from the street in the front to that height there is 21 feet above the street level. There's no real picture there that shows what is happening, but if you're on in between Lake Miriam and Hallam on Dateman Street, they've got a straight shot that we could go in because none of the fences are open there, that we could actually have that tree removed and even have the paperwork saying that we were going to have it removed in 7 days. But she refuses to let us come to her property, which is, I get it, that's her, right. The deal is that we could have it removed for $1,800 to $2,400. It would have been removed in 7 days. Otherwise, the tree lady is telling us it is going to be $8,000 plus to have it removed from the front of our street. I hope we'll be able to discuss this with her, but that doesn't apparently happen. I mean, it is our tree and everything else, but
Has the tree been evaluated by an arborist?
yeah, the tree lady.
Is dead?
No, it's not dead.
It's not
It's
dead.
just that there happens to be one hole in it where a woodpecker decided to make it his right. We called an ornithologist out. He said, don't touch the woodpecker. They're protected and stuff like that. So we had to just let it go. We did put up some stuff that would discourage the woodpecker from being there. But by that time, he had already created a hole in the cavity in the tree. And now, of course, over the last 3 years since Hurricane Irma, it's getting worse. And that's why that one limb fell. That was a tree where, that was the hole where he had made the nest in it.
So the violation that's in front of you right now is, it's 46-1 of the city code, which says that it's unlawful for a person to create, maintain, or contribute to any condition or circumstance which is deemed prejudicial to the public health. So it's a broad public nuisance provision.
With the tree overlapping on someone else's property, how would?
I think that that's what the code officer is asserting, that because the tree is dangerous condition and dropping limbs, that's creating
Nuisance.
Right.
a nuisance.
It does look pretty bad. So I'm gonna find that it is a violation, and that you should come into compliance by December 21st, 2020, or there will be a $50 a day fine.
Okay?
That's it, right?
And unfortunately, the hearing officer doesn't have any authority to direct your neighbor to allow you to go onto their property. She doesn't have any, the only thing that she can do is decide whether or not you're violating the code and then give you a deadline to correct it and a fine that accrues after that. So those are the only authorities that she has. And, if you're going to need more time than that, or you're objecting to the fine amount, now is the time to raise that to her
Well, the tree lady out of 11 companies that we called was the only one, along with Baker's All Around Tree Service, that would give us estimates, because once they found out that she would not let anybody come into her backyard, even though it's flat all the way back and it's only 110 feet, it's actually 120 feet from my front street to the tree. And the tree has to have a 124-foot crane to remove it. But of course, it's her right not to let us come through, but,
Right.
So, I was already told by 2 other arborists that the only thing I need to do is, if nothing can happen here, then to take it up in court.
Yeah, I think that might be the only option, because we don't, again, have
And
authority
even
to.
Ms. Donaldson with the tree, who owns the lady, tree lady, said that it would take more than 10 to 14 days at this time of the year to even get the crane over from Tampa or Orlando to get it here.
So are you requesting more time?
Yes,
than
definitely,
the December
please.
21st? Is there, are you willing to give more time for them to get everything taken care of?
We'd be willing to give them 30 days.
30 days? So is 30 days would be January 10th? Would that be Okay, so we're gonna change this, so you'll have until January 10th, 2021 to come into compliance.
Okay.
And I would just offer a friendly suggestion that maybe you can have your tree folks meet with the code officer to find out if there are other options apart from complete removal of the tree. Maybe trimming can mitigate the nuisance, and that would be sufficient.
Probably not, because what's happened is that the limb that did come off was the one that was the worst, which means there's now 2 limbs or 3 limbs going over our property with nothing to balance itself out if there's a hurricane and it comes down. So I mean, as soon as that limb came down, we knew it needed to go. We just didn't want to 2,000, 8 to 10,000. That's our problem. I mean, we've already had 2 trees removed from back in there over the last 7 to 8 years, you know, because they were dangerous, they were dropping limbs, mistletoe, whatever, and we've already done that. But this one was so large, at 45 feet high, and with almost a 50-foot spread, it takes up quite a bit of space, and that required getting into her backyard.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yes, we know.
So you'll have until January 10th, 2021 to come into compliance, or there will be a $50 a day fine imposed thereafter. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Good luck. Okay. So, page 27, case 02880, address 1922 West Walnut Street. And the code enforcement officer is Carlos Cruz. Furland, I'm going to say this wrong, Mateo? Can you, and we'll have Carlos start.
Carlos Cruz, Building Inspector, City of Lakeland, PER case 20-02880, property address 1922 West Walnut. Owners, as stated in the agenda, violations for Florida Building Code Section 105.1, permit required. Date of violation was 6/26/2020, to be corrected by 7/29/2020. Reinspection date of 10/30/2020. As of yesterday, violations still exist. City asked for compliance by 1/10/2021, or a $50 fine be imposed. Site visit revealed that new roof was being put on the premises without a permit. Roof permit required.
Can you state your name for the record?
I'm sorry?
Can you state your name, please?
Orlando Matos.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, that house that you're seeing right now is a house that I'm working on taking adverse possession. I am not the legal owner as of yet. And when I stepped in, it's been abandoned, like you said, like you see. And then the roof was already worked on. I don't know if there was a permit or not. So I started cleaning the place up, and all those debris and stuff, I took them out of the yard. And while I do some research and see how I can locate the owners, which I've been doing research, and I haven't been able to locate the owner. So my plan is to really go and apply for adverse protection while I'm upkeeping the property.
Apply for, I'm sorry? You said, can you restate your last part of your sentence?
Oh yeah, my plan is to really apply for adverse possession with the court, so that while I'm, upkeeping the property. As far as the
Furland Mateo.
permit, I don't know what step I need to do to see if I can remedy the problem myself, even though I'm not the legal owner.
So can you state your name? Because what I'm gathering is you're not the owner, but you're trying to claim the property through adverse possession
Correct.
proceedings in court. So can you state your name again for the
My
record?
name is Orlando Matos.
Okay, Orlando Matos.
And I've tried to locate the owner several times, many times, and we have not been able to get in touch with him. I sent him a certified letter to Canada where we came up with an address, and we got no response. We believe that the person's probably maybe died or something like that,
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Jim Daney, Code Enforcement Manager for the City of Lakeland.
Yes.
Unfortunately, Mr. Matos cannot present testimony here because he's not the owner of the property. So we're just going to have to move forward with the case.
And So,
He has no interest in the property at this time. If he takes possession of the property legally, then he can come back at another time, request reconsideration of the violation and the fines, but we're gonna have to have an owner of the property or a representative of the owner present testimony to you.
What I would say, not to, I think that's accurate, but you can still hear the testimony, but I think you can't consider it as representative of the owner
Make
because
a
he's
ruling.
not the legal owner, but he's more just an interested member of the public. So
we'll just,
I
I'll
think,
make notes and it'll be like the case wasn't.
yeah, I think you can take into consideration what he's saying, but at the same time, he has no legal authority to admit or deny the violation or to present on behalf of the owner because he hasn't completed that
Right.
that
So-
proceeding yet.
Yeah, so once you complete the proceeding, you'll have authority to come in and present testimony. Until then, we can only consider what the actual legal owner has to say.
Right, well, may I say one thing? According to Google here, that according to the article of adverse possession, that once a person moves in, you have up to 1 year to apply while you take care of the place, to apply for adverse
But you
possession.
need legal authority to, do you have anything that shows that you're the owner?
No, I'm not the owner. That's why I said I'm not the legal owner, but as an adverse possessor, or a squatter, as you might want to call it, you have up to a year to apply for adverse possession while you're upkeeping the law.
Yeah, I
the-
think
the-
that
the
would
land.
be like a issue for not here.
Well, what we're saying is that we're not disputing whether or not you have a rightful claim as an adverse possessor. We're just saying that until you complete that process with the court and you have a legal title, you're not the legal owner as far as this proceeding is concerned. And this is a different proceeding. So obviously you're an interested party because you're trying to claim the property, and according to your testimony, it's been abandoned. So we recognize that you have an interest in the property, but you're not the legal owner until the judge rules in your adverse possession case and you're granted legal title to the property. So as of now, you're in this proceeding, you're just an interested party. You're not the legal owner.
Right, I understand. So then
And as far as the permit goes, you're not going to be able to apply for the permit either until you have that legal title to the property. So, I don't know if in light of this, if the code inspector would be obliged to agree to a little bit more time. If you have any timeline for that case, you can offer that to the inspector, and because you're not going to be able to get that permit until you have title.
Yeah.
Right, well, the thing is that, I think it's about $22,000 that's owed on back taxes. And so I was trying to make sure that everything is in place before I can spend that kind of money into a property that then they may come back and take away from me.
Yeah, I would take his recommendation, and you need to get legal title, and
So that's
then,
what
then come back to.
I'm gonna do some more research and see if that would be
Yeah, I
financially
I
beneficial.
would speak to the code enforcement officer and see what you can work out. Thank you.
If you can give me a break to see
Yeah,
some
that
time
would be
to.
something that you guys can, we can't do anything.
Right,
regarding
so that in case I do come in possession of the property, I don't have to pay all that fine fee and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
This city's not going to change its recommendation. At this time, the city still recommends and asks for compliance by January 10th, 2021, or a $50 a day fine will be imposed.
But I can't rule on this, right, correct? Because he's not the legal.
Well, no, you can rule. It's just the same as if a person doesn't show up at all.
Okay, so I'm gonna take the city's recommendation, which was sorry, I closed it. What page was it? What was your recommendation?
Page 27.
27,
The
okay.
bottom.
I went on. Oh, okay, so.
Compliance by January 10th, 2021, or a $50 a day fine.
Yeah, so
will be
I'm gonna
imposed.
find that there is a violation. You have until January 10th, 2021 to come into compliance, or after there will be a $50 a day fine. Thank you.
All right, thank you too.
Is there anyone else? that
On the
we-
same page, the second one down,
I keep showing, second one?
yeah, the 818 Golden Rule.
Oh, yes, okay, so it's page 27, 02691. address 818 Golden Rule Court South. And the code enforcement officer, Carlos Cruz. Well, you're right here. Perfect. Can you present your testimony?
Carlos Cruz, Building Inspector, City of Lakeland, PER 20-02691. Property address 818 Golden Rule Court South. Owners as stated in the agenda. Violations for Florida Building Code Section 105.1, permit required. Date of violation is 6/12/2020, to be corrected by 7/12/2020. Reinspection date of 10/23/2020. As of yesterday, violations still exist. City asked for compliance by 12/21/2021. 2020, or a $100 a day fine be imposed. A site visit conducted and revealed that new 6-foot. Am I reading the right one?
02691.
Privacy fence had been installed without a permit. A sewer line work was taking place in the backyard without a permit. The sewer line work has caused damage to the city's services. Stop work order has been posted. A plumbing and fence permit required. They did a connection into the main sewer line, which has caused damage into the city's sewer line system. As of this date, we haven't had any contact with them whatsoever until now, and the city is requesting that they get their permit and get this fixed so that no more damage be imposed into the system.
Yep, my name is Donald Davis. I'm 818 Golden Rule Court, and I don't.
Can you state your name?
I did.
Is she going to speak too? Are you going to speak?
Anna Davis, 818 Golden Rule Court South.
Thank you.
Yeah, we understand that. I was grading out my backyard and I broke a pipe. And when I started digging it up, it was all in bad shape. So I went to replace it. And I had every intention of getting a permit. But then all this other stuff happened with Corona. And when I got the stop work notice, I went and got all the information on it. And it said I needed to pay double permit fees and a $150 fee for starting work without it. I just didn't have that money right now, and that's all. I'm just asking for a little bit more time. That's all.
Is there a possibility for more time?
No. At this point in time, the city needs that fixed. It needs to be repaired properly, and it needs to be inspected.
Sir, if I could just offer some clarification, the violation that the city's alleging is that you did work without a permit.
Yes, sir.
So the only thing that you need to cure that violation is to get the permit.
Right.
So, where are you in that process?
Well, that's what I'm saying. When I got all the information on what to do to get the permit, because I got the stop work order, it told me in the instructions that I had to pay double permit fees, which was $160 for each one of them. That's $320, and then a $150 fine for doing work without.
So have you applied for the permit?
Not yet. I have all the information and the application, but I haven't gone physically down to apply for it yet. I mean, I can find a way to do it and get it, get the thing applied for Monday if I have to.
Okay, because if you apply for the permit, they issue the permit, but they tell you you're going to have to do this much work or this extra thing to fix it or whatever.
Yes, sir.
That's not part of this, because the only thing you need to do to cure this is get that permit.
Okay.
And then whatever work that they tell you that you need to do to come into compliance with the building code, that's part of the permit process now. Mm-hmm. So just getting the permit is all you need to do to avoid the penalty here.
Yes.
On fence and plumbing?
Is the fence part of this?
The plumbing and the fence, correct?
The fence, yeah, they need two permits. One is for a fence permit and one is for a plumbing permit. Okay. Our main concern is the plumbing permit right now. Okay. That's our biggest concern right now with this system not being so fragile as it is. They need to get that done properly.
So
And unfortunately, we can't separate the cases, so,
You can't do, okay.
no.
So just get both permits at the same time.
Yeah.
You don't have to get, you need to get your plumbing permit first. Once you get your plumbing permit, we can go back to, once you get your fence permit and your plumbing permit both, once you get both of them, we can close out the case and we can go back to the CEB and request for the lower fines. But right now, we need you to get a plumbing permit as quickly as possible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I find that you are in violation, and I'm gonna take the city's recommendation that you get a permit by, or remedy the situation by December 21st, 2020. That's 10 days. Thereafter, $100 a day fine.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so is there any other, are you waiting for?
He's one of the representatives of a local neighborhood association.
Oh, okay.
And he's just wanting to listen to the case that, that you have in his neighborhood, so maybe if you want, Sonny, if you want to take that first, so Mr. Hagerman can leave,
Oh, okay.
if you don't mind, ma'am.
Oh, that's perfect, thank you. Page 2,
Oh, that would have been easy anyway.
At the bottom of page 2, 114.
the last one? Okay, so page 2, case number 00501, address 114 West Patterson Street. And the code enforcement officer, Saniqua Marshall.
Yeah. Code Enforcement Officer Saniqua Marshall for the City of Lakeland. The case is LCE 20-00501 at 114 West Patterson Street. The owner is Ruth Price. The violation is for Chapter 90, obstruction to the view at street corners. The date of violation was January 16, 2020, to be corrected by January 31st, 2020. A reinspection was done on October 30th, 2020, and photos taken on December 4th, 2020 shows that the violation still exists. The city recommends compliance by December 21st, 2020, or a $50 per day fine be imposed.
Okay. Did you want to speak or have anything to say? Okay, so I'm gonna find that there is a violation, and they'll have until December 21st, 2020 to come into compliance, or there will be a fine of $50 a day. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna go back to the front and just start calling cases for people who have it shown. So page 1, case 08572, address 1536 Arlington Road, code enforcement officer Daniel Povey. Thanks.
Huh?
Thank you.
Did close it, but you didn't schedule anything for me to close it. Oh. So you can just tell our AOC before hearing. You don't have to present it. All you have to do is say AOC before hearing.
Okay, both this case and the next case on that same page for the same address have been AOC'd before hearing. Affidavit of compliance before hearing.
So you need to go back and do a chronology.
Okay.
Okay, so that's all so they both are in compliance, affidavit of
Yes.
compliance. Okay. Thank you. All right. You need anything else on that, or? Okay. So page 2, case 08704, address 709 Adams Street, code enforcement officer Andrew Dozier. Did I say that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Andrew Dozier, Code Enforcement Officer with the City of Lakeland, case number LCE 19-08704, address is 709 Adams Street, The owner is Help is on the Way Ministries. The violation is for roof portions, screens, windows, electrical outlets, everything else noted in the agenda. The date of violation is 11/21/2019 to be corrected by 1/20/2020. A reinspection on 10/5/2020 showed that the property is still in violation. As of yesterday, the property is also still in violation. At this time, the city would recommend compliance by January 10th, 2021, or a $50 per day fine be imposed.
Okay, so I find there is a violation, and I'll take your recommendation to come into compliance by January 10th, 2021, or a $50 a day fine thereafter. Thank you. Okay, page 2, case 08709, address 1104 North Marion Avenue, Code Enforcement Officer Daniel Povey.
Good morning, Daniel Povey, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. Case number LCE 19-08709. The address is 1104 North Marion Avenue. The owner is Solid Blue LLC. The property was cited for multiple interior and exterior violations as stated in the agenda. The date of the violation is November 22nd, 2019, to be corrected by January 21st, 2020. A reinspection was done on October 26th, 2020, and photos on December 4th, 2020. The city recommends that the property remains in violation. City recommends compliance by December 21st, 2020, or a $50 per day fine be imposed.
You said January 21st?
No, December 21st.
Okay.
On a housing case?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, is it 30 days? Oh, pardon me. January 10th.
January 10th?
2020.
Okay. I was like, I had
21.
Okay, so I find there is a violation. I'll take your recommendation for the 30 days. So they'll have till January 10th, 2021 to come into compliance, or a $50 a day fine thereafter.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, page 3, case 01239, address 641 West 6th Street. Code Enforcement Officer Andrew Dozier.
Andrew Dozier, Code Enforcement Officer with the City of Lakeland, case number LCE 20-01239, address is 641 West 6th Street. The owner is Vermont LLC. It's for violations that are listed in the agenda. The date of violation is February 17, 2020, to be corrected by April 17, 2020, a reinspection on October 21st, 2020, and another inspection as of yesterday showed that the property is still not in compliance. So this time we would recommend compliance by January 10, 2021, or a $50 per day fine be imposed.
Okay. So I will take your recommendation. So they'll have until January 10th, 2021. There is a violation and a $50 a day fine thereafter. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So page 4, you don't have to go far. Case 01245. Oh, that was summary. Oh, sorry, I didn't see that. Okay, so the next one. Case page 4, 01367. Address 1903 East Main Street. And Elliot Karen, that's the owner. So Christian Perry is the Code Enforcement Officer.
Christian Perry, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland, case number LCE 20-01367, property address 1903 East Main Street. Owner is Karen Elliott. Violation of Chapter 86 of the Code of Ordinance for stagnant pool and lot clearing, overgrowth, junk, and debris. Date of violation of February 20, 2020. To be corrected by March 6, 2020. Reinspection on October 28, 2020, and photos on December 4, 2020 shows the property is still in violation. The city recommends the property be brought into compliance by December 21st, 2020, or a $50 per day fine be imposed.
Or what was the fine per day?
$50 per day.
Okay. So I find that there is a violation. They'll have until, I'll take your recommendation, December 21st, 2020, to come into compliance, or a $50 a day fine. Okay. So page 6, case 01640, address 5115 North Road 98, and the code enforcement officer, Angela Kaiser.
Angela Kaiser, Code Enforcement Officer of the City of Lakeland, case number LCE 20-01640, address 5115 North Road 98. Owners are listed as Lakeland Sons LLC. Violations are for Section 86-36B and Section 86-36A for disposal of garbage. The date of the violation was February 27th, 2020, to be corrected by February 4th, 2020. Reinspection October 19th, 2020, and pictures taken on January 9th, 2020 show that violations exist. The city would recommend compliance by December 21st, 2020, or a $50 per day fine would be imposed.
Okay, so I find there is a violation. I'll take your recommendation, and they'll have until December 21st, 2020, or a $50 a day fine thereafter.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so page 7, case 01684, address 302 East Belvedere Street, Code Enforcement Officer Dennis Browning.
Dennis Browning, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. This is case LCE 20-01684, the address 302 East Belvedere Street. The owners are Eric and Brittany Fulgraff. Property was cited for violation of Ordinance 3947, Chapter 3, with the violations as listed. Date of violation was March the 3rd, 2020, to be corrected by May the 2nd, 2020. Reinspection on October the 5th and photos taken on December the 4th, 2020 shows the violations remain. The city would recommend compliance by January the 10th, 2021, or a $50 per day fine be imposed.
Okay, so I find there's a violation. I'll take your recommendation. They'll have until January 10th, 2021, or to come into compliance, or a $50 a day fine.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so page 7, case 01689. This is the same. So it's address 302 1/2 East Belvedere Street, and Dennis Browning is the hearing or the code enforcement officer.
Dennis Browning, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland, case LCE 20-01689, the address 302 1/2 East Belvedere Street. The owners, Eric and Brittany Fulgraff. The property was cited for violation of Ordinance 3371, Section 9.02, for regulations for open, unsecured, and unoccupied buildings. Date of violation was March 3rd, 2020, to be corrected by March 13th, 2020. Reinspection on October the 5th, and photos taken on December the 4th, 2020 shows the violation remains. City would recommend compliance by December the 21st, 2020, or a $150 per day fine be imposed.
Okay, I find there is a violation and take your recommendation. They'll have until December 21st, 2020 to come into compliance, or a $50 a day fine thereafter. Thank you. And then I'll just keep moving to the next one. So page 7, case 01692, 302 1/2 East Belvedere Street, Code Enforcement Officer Dennis Browning.
Dennis Browning, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland, case LCE 20-01692, the address 302 1/2 East Belvedere Street. The owners are Eric and Brittany Fulgraff. The property was cited for violation of Ordinance 3947, Chapter 3 of the Housing Code, Section 305.14, for protective treatment. The date of violation was March 3rd, 2020, to be corrected by May the 2nd, 2020. Reinspection on October the 5th and photos taken on December the 4th shows the violation remains. City would recommend compliance by January the 10th, 2021, or a $50 per day fine be imposed.
Okay, I find there is a violation. Take the recommendation. They'll have until January 10th, 2021 to come into compliance, or a $50 a day fine thereafter.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so page 8, case 01785, address 1219 Wayna Drive, and Code Enforcement Officer Stephen Willis.
Stephen Willis, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. Case number is LCE 20-01785. Address is 1219 Buena Drive. Owners are listed as Michael Christopher Frederick and Valissa Michelle Frederick. Violation is ordinance 4134, Section 1, derelict vehicle. Date of violation was March 5th, 2020, to be corrected by March 15th, 2020. Reinspection was conducted on October 12th, 2020. Result was the violation still exists. Photos were taken on December 7th, 2020. Therefore, city recommends compliance by December 21st, 2020, or a $50 per day fine be imposed.
Okay. I find there is a violation, so I'll take your recommendation. They'll have until January 21st, 2021 to come into compliance, or a $50 a day fine thereafter. Thank you. Moving on, page 8, case 01836, address 1915 East Fern Road. Code Enforcement Officer Christian Perry.
Christian Perry, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. Case number LCE 20-01836. Property address is 1915 East Fern Road. The owner is the Family Trust of Biddy Joy Buckskew. Violation for ordinance 3947 for care of premises. Date of violation of March 5th, 2020, to be corrected by March 20th, 2020. Reinspection on October 12th, 2020, and photos on December 4th, 2020 shows the violation remains. At this time, the city recommends compliance by December 21st, 2020, or a $50 per day fine be imposed.
Okay. I find there is a violation. I'll take your recommendation. They'll have until December 21st, 2020 to come into compliance, or a $50 fine per day thereafter. Thank you. Next, page 8, case 01865, address 2486 Chestnut Woods Drive, and Code Enforcement Officer Daniel Povey.
Daniel Povey, Code Enforcement Officer for City of Lakeland. Case number LCE 20-01865. Address is 2486 Chestnut Woods Drive. The owner is Gurman Enterprise, LLC. State of the violation is ordinance 3947, Chapter 3, Section 307.4, care of premises, open storage, and junk. Date of the violation is March 6, 2020, to be corrected by March 21st, 2020. Reinspected on October 26, 2020, and photos taken on December 7th, 2020. Property remains in violation. City recommends compliance by December 21st, 2020, or a $50 per day fine be imposed.
Okay, I find there is a violation. I'll take your recommendation. They'll have until December 21st, 2020 to come into compliance, or a $50 fine per day thereafter. Thank you. So page 8, case 01884, address 407 West Carver Street, Code Enforcement Officer Stephen Willis.
Code Enforcement Officer Stephen Willis for the City of Lakeland. Case number is LCE 20-01884. Address is 407 West Carver Street. Owner is Donald Spann. Violation is ordinance 4134, Section 1, derelict vehicle. Date of violation was March 9th, 2020. Was to be corrected by March 19th, 2020. Reinspection was conducted on October 9th, 2020, which resulted the violation still exists. Photos taken on December 7th, 2020 show the violation is still continuing. City recommends compliance by December 21st, 2020, or a $50 per day fine be imposed.
Okay. You said December 21st, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I find there's a violation. I'll take your recommendation. They will have until December 21st, 2020 to come into compliance, or a $50 fine per day thereafter. Thank you. Okay. So page 9, case 01965, address 1207 Greenview Drive, and Code Enforcement Officer Stephen Willis.
Code Enforcement Officer Stephen Willis for the City of Lakeland. Case number is LCE 20-01965. Address is 1207 Greenview Drive. Owner is listed as Kimberly K. Harris. Violation is ordinance 3947, Chapter 3, Section 305-15, accessory structures. Date of violation was March 11th, 2020, was to be corrected by May 10th, 2020. A reinspection was conducted on October 12th, 2020. Results were the violation still exists. Photos taken on December 7th, 2020 show the violation is still there. City recommends compliance by February 9th, 2021, or a $50 per day fine be imposed.
You said January 10th?
February 9th.
Oh, February 9th, okay.
Yes, ma'am. February 9th, 2021.
Okay. And $50 a day?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I find there is a violation. I'll take your recommendation, so they'll have until February 9th, 2021 to come into compliance, or a $50 fine per day thereafter. Thank you. Okay, so page 9, case 01966, address 1318 West Highland Street, Code Enforcement Officer Saniqua Marshall.
Saniqua Marshall, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. This is for LCE 20-01966 at 1318 West Highland Street. The owner listed is Mixon Early Bud Estate. The violation is for ordinance 3371, open, unsecured, and unoccupied building. The date of violation was March 11th, 2020, to be corrected by March 21st, 2020. A reinspection was done on October 28th, 2020. And photos taken on December 4th, 2020 shows that the violation still exists. The city recommends compliance by December 21st, 2020, or a $150 per day fine be imposed.
Okay. I find there is a violation. I'll take your recommendation, so they'll have until December 21st, 2020 to come into compliance, or a $150 fine per day thereafter. Thank you. Okay, so page 9, case 01975, address 1628 Sylvester Road, Code Enforcement Officer Dennis Browning.
Dennis Browning, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. This is case LCE 20-01975, the address 1628 Sylvester Road. The owner is the estate of Karen Kolaski. The property was cited for a violation of Chapter 86, Section 86-2 for the stagnant swimming pool. Date of violation was March 11th, 2020, to be corrected by March 26th, 2020. There's been no call for a reinspection. Staff's recommendation is for the owner to comply by December the 21st, 2020, or a $50 per day fine be imposed.
Okay, I find there is a violation. I'll take your recommendation, so the owners will have until December 21st, 2020 to come into compliance, or a $50 fine per day thereafter.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, page 10, case number 01976, address 1628 Sylvester Road, and Code Enforcement Officer Dennis Browning.
Dennis Browning, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. This case LCE 20-01976, the address 1628 Sylvester Road. The owner is the estate of Karen Kolaski. The property was cited for a violation of Ordinance 3947, Chapter 3 of the Housing Code in regards to the damaged pool enclosure. Date of violation was March the 11th, 2020, to be corrected by May the 10th, 2020. There has been no call for reinspection. Staff's recommendation is for the owner to comply by January the 10th, 2021, or a $50 per day fine be imposed.
Okay, I find there is a violation. I'll take your recommendation for them to come into compliance to owners by January 10th, 2021, or a $50 per day fine thereafter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll have to hear that case that's on the bottom.
Oh.
Because he entered a comment the same day, so it picks up that comment.
Oh, okay, so
we'll have to hear that
okay,
case.
Thank you. So page 10, case 01995, address 1511 East Main Street, Code Enforcement Officer Christian Perry.
Christian Perry, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland, case number LCE 20-01995. Property address 1511 East Main Street. The owner is Donna Stark. Violation of Ordinance 4134, derelict vehicle. Date of violation March 12, 2020. To be corrected by March 22nd, 2020. Reinspection on October 28, 2020. And photos on December 4th, 2020 show the property is still in violation. City recommends compliance by December 21st, 2020, or a $50 per day fine be imposed.
Okay. So I find there is a violation. I'll take a recommendation. The owner will have until December 21st, 2020 to come into compliance or a $50 fine per day thereafter. Thank you.
Can we get clarification on that voicemail? Was she asking to postpone the hearing, or she was just saying she wasn't going to be here?
I think she said she thought she was in
Well,
compliance.
for my case, she said she was not going to be here.
Yeah, so she left a voicemail with you,
Correct.
and she wasn't asking to delay the hearing?
No, and I tried calling back, but she doesn't have a voicemail set up.
Yeah.
So there was no voicemail message left with her, but she wasn't asking to delay it or anything like that. She stated that she thought the property was in compliance, but this vehicle right here on the screen right now is gone. The other vehicle, the sedan that's on the side of the house with no tag, that's the one that remains.
Great. If she had called and was
Then we
requesting
would-
to delay the hearing, I wanted you to be aware of that in case you wanted to
Yeah.
grant
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
So-
Thank you. I didn't think about that. Okay. Page 11, case 02037, address 707 West 9th Street, Code Enforcement Officer Andrew Dozier.
Andrew Dozer, Code Enforcement Officer with the City of Lakeland, case number LCE 20-02037. The address is 707 West 9th Street. The owner is Shirley Williams for violations of care of premises. The date of violation is 3/12/2020 to be corrected by 3/27/2020. A reinspection on 10/21/2020 showed that the property is still in violation. This time, the city would recommend compliance by 12/21/2020 or a $50 per day fine be imposed.
Okay. So I find there is a violation. I'll take a recommendation. I'll have until December 21st, 2020 to come into compliance or a $50 per day fine thereafter.
Thank you.
Okay, so page 11, 02066, 1930 East Main Street, Code Enforcement Officer Christian Perry.
Christian Perry, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland, case number LCE 20-02066, property address 1930 East Main Street. The owner is Ruby Argersinger. Violation of Ordinance 4134, derelict vehicle. Date of violation March 13th, 2020, to be corrected by March 23rd, 2020. Reinspection October 30th, 2020, and photos December 4th, 2020 shows the property is still in violation. City recommends the property be brought into compliance by December 21st, 2020, or a $50 per day fine be imposed.
So you said December 21st, 2020,
Correct.
or $50 per day. So I find there is a violation, and I'll take your recommendation. They'll have until December 21st, 2020 to come into compliance or a $50 fine per day thereafter. Thank you. And then the next one, so page 11, case 02070, address 1930 East Main Street, and Code Enforcement Officer Christian Perry.
Christian Perry, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland, case number LCE 20-02070, property address 1930 East Main Street, owner is Ruby Argersinger. Violation of Ordinance 3947, care of premises. Date of violation of March 13th, 2020, to be corrected by March 28th, 2020. Reinspection October 30th, 2020, and photos December 4th, 2020 shows the property is still in violation. City recommends that the property be brought into compliance by December 21st, 2020, or a $50 per day fine be imposed.
Okay. So I find there is a violation. I'll take your recommendation. They'll have until December 21st, 2020 to come into compliance or a $50 fine per day thereafter. Thank you. Are you just going to stay right here? So page 12, case 02091, 1935 East Main Street, Code Enforcement Officer Christian Perry.
Christian Perry, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland, case number LCE 20-02091, property address 1935 East Main Street. Violation of Ordinance property owner is Ruby Argersinger. Violation of Ordinance 3947, Chapter 3, care of premises, open storage and junk. Date of violation March 17th, 2020, to be corrected by April 1st, 2020. Reinspection October 30th, 2020, and photos on December 4th, 2020 shows the property is still in violation. City recommends property be brought into compliance by December 21st, 2020, or a $50 per day fine be imposed.
Okay, I find there's a violation. I'll take your recommendation. So the owner will have until December 21st, 2020 to come into compliance, or a $50 fine per day thereafter. Thank you. Page 12, 02236, address 411 East Dorado Street, and Code Enforcement Officer Chris Berry.
Chris Berry, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland, case LCE 20-02236 at 411 El Dorado Street. Owner is Wade Allen Suggett. It's a violation of Ordinance 3947, Chapter 3 for overgrowth, open storage, and junk. Date of violation was July 15th, 2020, to be corrected by July 30th, 2020. A reinspection on October 26th, and photographs taken on December 11th show the violation remains. City recommends compliance by December 21st, 2020, or a $50 per day fine be imposed.
Okay. I find there is a violation. I'll take your recommendation. Owners will have until December 21st, 2020 to come into compliance, or a $50 fine per day thereafter. Thank you. Okay, so page 14. Case 02669, address 1404 East Elm Road. Code Enforcement Officer Christian Perry.
Christian Perry, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland, case number LCE 20-02669, property address 1404 East Elm. The owner is Yamil Vero. Violation of Chapter 10 for keeping animals and fowl in a residential area. Date of violation of June 10th, 2020, to be corrected by June 20th, 2020. Reinspection on October 12th, 2020, and photos on December 4th, 2020 shows the property is still in violation. The city recommends the property be brought into compliance by December 21st, 2020, or a $50 per day fine be imposed. The violation here is they're allowed to have chickens in the city, but they cannot be anything closer than 50 feet from any neighboring residence, the actual dwelling itself, and there's some spots where they're within 10 feet of the neighbor's dwelling.
Oh, okay. I was wondering. Thank you for clarifying. Okay, so I find there is a violation then, and I'll take your recommendation. They'll have until December 21st, 2020 to come into compliance, or a $50 fine per day thereafter.
Okay.
Okay, so page 14, case 02673, address 119 Snowbird Avenue, Code Enforcement Officer Angela Kaiser.
Angela Kaiser, Code Enforcement Officer of the City of Lakeland, case number LCE 20-02673, or that's case number. Address is 119 Snowbird Avenue. Owners are Hamlin Real Estate, LLC. The violation is of Section 86-4 for offensive liquids prohibited on streets and public places. It was an illicit discharge of an irreparable and irreversible nature. The date of the violation was June 10th, 2020, to be corrected by June 16th, 2020. Unfortunately, there was really no way to correct this. The city, well, let me give you some details of it.
Yes, please.
They had discharged, they're a recycling center, and they take old metals, engines, different things like that, and a lot of those parts might have still had fluids in them. They're supposed to be drained, but they don't. People aren't always honest about that. So when there are centers set up like that, they have to follow state and federal guidelines to protect anything from discharging from their properties. This company had failed to keep up on their procedures, and we had a huge rainstorm on June 10th, and there just happened to be city workers in the stormwater drain just downflow from them, and started noticing this huge amount of discharge. And it was large enough that the city called in the fire department, the risk management division, because they were concerned that this could be a very huge fire potential. So the discharge was large enough that the city is asking to impose the maximum penalty, which is $5,000, Because it is irreparable and irreversible, the company agreed, and they've already sent the city a check for $5,000. So that's what we're asking for, is to go ahead and impose the $5,000 for the irreparable and irreversible damage.
And they've already sent the check.
They've already sent it. They agreed to it.
So then I'll find there is a violation and enforce the maximum penalty of $5,000, and they've already.
Right, they have it. And let me clarify, because I did want to also say that once this occurred, and not only our department, but other departments and state agency and federal agencies got involved and gave them exactly what they needed to do, and they immediately started
So they're working on
repairing, and they had corrected it all within 60 days.
Okay.
So, yeah, they're
working on it.
yes, they're very adamant about continuing in good graces there.
Okay, thank you. Do you need anything else from me on that, or, okay. Okay, so, page 15, case 02879, address 910 West 8th Street, Code Enforcement Officer Andrew Dozier.
Andrew Dozier, Code Enforcement Officer with the City of Lakeland, case number LCE 20-02879. The address is 910 West 8th Street. The owner is RMF Bud Out Acquisitions Trust for violations of Section 86-2, overgrowth. The date of violation is 6/29/2020 to be corrected by 8/7/2020. Reinspection on 10/22/2020 showed that the violation still exists. At this time, the city would recommend compliance by 12/21/2020 or a $50 per day fine be imposed.
Okay. So I find there is a violation. I'll take your recommendation. So the owners will have until December 21st, 2020 to come into compliance, or a $50 fine per day thereafter.
Thank you.
Thank you. And so page 18, case 03441, address 1771 Bayview Drive.
That's AOC.
Oh, I didn't even see that. Thank you. So never mind. So page 20. Case 03779, address 745 East Valencia Street, and Code Enforcement Officer Stephen Willis.
Code Enforcement Officer Stephen Willis for the City of Lakeland. The case number is LCE 20-03779. Address is 745 East Valencia Street. Owner is listed as Kiev Soon Ong. Violation is ordinance 3947. Date of violation was August 12th, 2020. To be corrected by August 27th, 2020. Reinspection was conducted on October 16th, 2020. Result was the violation still existed. Photos taken on December 7th, 2020 shows the violation is still there. City recommends compliance by December 21st, 2020, or a $50 per day fine be imposed.
Okay. So I find there is a violation. I'll take your recommendation. They'll have until December 21st, 2020 to come into compliance, or a $50 fine per day thereafter. Thank you. So page 21, case 03804, address 4075 Lakeland Highlands Road, Code Enforcement Officer Dennis Browning.
Dennis Browning, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. This is case LCE 20-03804. The address 4075 Lakeland Highlands Road. The owners are Lake Scott LLC and LFT Development Company LLC. The property was cited for violation of Section 86-2 for lot clearing and overgrowth. The date of violation was August the 12th, 2020, to be corrected by August the 27th, 2020. Reinspection on October the 16th and photos taken on December the 4th, 2020 shows the violation remains. City would recommend compliance by December the 21st, 2020, or a $50 per day fine be imposed.
Okay. I find there is a violation. The owners will have until December 21st, 2020 to come into compliance, or a $50 fine per day thereafter.
Thank you.
Thank you. So page 21, case 03805, address 3907 Foxcroft Court, Code Enforcement Officer Dennis Browning.
Dennis Browning, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. This is case LCE 20-03805. The address is 3907 Foxcroft Court. The owner is Louise Mello. The property was cited for violation of Ordinance 3947, Chapter 3, Section 307.4 for care of premises. Date of violation was August the 12th, 2020, to be corrected by August the 27th, 2020. Reinspection on October the 8th, 2020, and photos taken on December the 4th, 2020 shows the violation remains. City would recommend compliance by December the 21st, 2020, or a $50 per day fine be imposed.
I find there is a violation. I'll take your recommendation. The owners will have until December 21st, 2020 to come into compliance, or a $50 fine per day thereafter. Thank you. Page 21, case 04016, address 1451 Kettles Avenue, Code Enforcement Officer Daniel Povey.
Daniel Povey, Code Enforcement Officer for City of Lakeland, case number LCE 20-04016. Address is 1451 Kettles Avenue. Owner is Twin J Holdings LLC. The violation is under Ordinance 3947, Chapter 3, Section 307.4, care of premises. The date of the violation is 08/25/2020 to be corrected by 09/09/2020. Re-inspected on 10/28/2020, and photos taken on 12/4/2020 that show the violation remains. City recommends compliance by 12/21/2020, or a $50 per day fine be imposed.
Okay. So I find there is violation. I'll take your recommendation. They'll have until December 21st, 2020 to come into compliance, or a $50 fine per day thereafter. Page 22. Case 04240, address 524 Bellevue Avenue, and the Code Enforcement Officer Dennis Browning.
Dennis Browning, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. This is case LCE 20-04240. The address 524 Bellevue Avenue. The owner is the estate of Thelma Shine. The property was cited for violation of Ordinance 3947, Chapter 3, Section 307.4, care of premises. The date of violation was September the 2nd, 2020, to be corrected by September the 17th, 2020. Reinspection on October the 6th and photos taken on December the 4th, 2020 shows the violation remains. City would recommend compliance by December the 21st, 2020, or a $50 per day fine be imposed.
Okay. So I find there is a violation. I'll take your recommendation. They'll have until December 21st, 2020 to come into compliance, or a $50 fine per day thereafter. Thank you. Page 22, case 04470, address 205 East Edwards Street, Code Enforcement Officer Stephen Willis.
Stephen Willis, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. Case number is LCE 20-04470. Address is 205 East Edwards Street. Owner is listed as 205 Edward Land Trust. A violation of Ordinance 5425. Date of violation was September 11th, 2020. To be corrected by September 21st, 2020. Reinspection was conducted on October 12th, 2020. Result was the violation still exists, and photos taken on December 7th, 2020 show the violation has yet been corrected. City recommends compliance before December 21st, 2020, or a $50 per day fine be imposed.
So can I ask a question real quick? They just need to get it off of the front lawn? They just need to put it behind the fence, or?
Yes, ma'am. According to the code for the city, the trailer needs to be behind the principal structure, so it'd be the front of the home. So they have there's a gate right there that actually opens up, and they can push it back in there.
Okay, that's why I was
then
asking.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's done.
And you said $50?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I find, I just wasn't familiar with the code, so.
Oh, that's okay.
So I find there is a violation, and they'll have until December 21st, 2020 to come into compliance, or a $50 fine per day thereafter. Thank you. So page 23, case 04752, address 608 West Crescent, Code Enforcement Officer Stephen Willis.
Stephen Willis, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. Case number is LCE 20-04752. Address is 608 West Crescent Street. Owners listed as Majik Investments LLC and John C. Cordova Vargas. The violation is ordinance 3947, overgrowth, open storage, and junk. Date of violation was September 24th, 2020. It was to be corrected by October 9th, 2020. Reinspection was conducted on October 12th, 2020, and results were the violation still exists. Photo taken on December 7th, 2020 shows the violation is still there. City recommends compliance by December 21st, 2020, or a $50 per day fine be imposed.
Okay, so I'll find there is a violation and take your recommendation. The owners will have until December 21st, 2020 to come into compliance, or a $50 fine per day thereafter. Thank you.
Thank you.
Page 24, case 04969, address 302 East Belvedere Street. Code Enforcement Officer Dennis Browning.
Dennis Browning, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland, case LCE 20-04969, the address 302 East Belvedere Street. The owners are Eric and Brittany Fulgraff. Property was cited for violation of ordinance 4134, Section 1, derelict vehicle. Date of violation was October the 5th, 2020, to be corrected by October the 15th, 2020. Reinspection on October the 16th and photos taken on December the 4th, 2020 shows the violation remains. City would recommend compliance by December the 21st, 2020, or a $50 per day fine be imposed.
Okay, so I'll find there is a violation and take your recommendation. The owners will have until December 21st, 2020 to come into compliance, or a $50 fine per day thereafter. Thank you. So page 25, case 05155, address 1409 Kuroka, is that right? Drive, and Code Enforcement Officer Dennis Browning.
Dennis Browning, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. This is case LCE 20-05155, the address 1409 Karaoke Drive. The owner is Patricia Ann Randall Living Trust. The property was cited for violation of Chapter 86, Section 86-2 for the stagnant swimming pool. Date of violation was October the 14th, 2020, to be corrected by October the 29th, 2020. Reinspection on October the 30th, and photos taken on December the 9th, 2020 shows the violation remains. The city would recommend compliance by December the 21st, 2020, or a $50 per day fine be imposed.
So can I just ask you, do they just need to finish draining the pool?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and that's all that's left. Okay. All right, so I'll find there is a violation, and they'll have until December 21st, 2020 to come into compliance, or a $50 fine per day thereafter. Thank you.
Thank you.
So page 25, case 00181, address 805 Lafayette Lane, and Code Enforcement Officer Carlos Cruz.
Carlos Cruz, Building Inspector, City of Lakeland, case number PER 20-0081, property address 805 Lafayette Lane. Owners, as stated in the agenda, violations for Florida Building Codes, Section 105.1, permit required. Date of violation is 1/8/2020, to be corrected by 2/7/2020. Reinspection date of 2/13/2020. As of yesterday, violations still exist. City asks for compliance by 1/10/2021, or a $50 day fine be imposed. They installed a metal roof without any permits.
Are they still installing it?
They're finished now, but they haven't done anything with it.
It's just sitting the same way?
Yep.
Because this picture is from January, so I was just making sure.
Yes.
Okay. So I'll find there is a violation and take your recommendation. They'll have until January 10th, 2021 to come into compliance, or a $50 fine per day thereafter. All right. And I think you're the only one left, right? So page 25, case 01375, address 10338, excuse me, West 10th Street, and Code Enforcement Officer Carlos Cruz.
Carlos Cruz, Building Inspector, City of Lakeland, case number PER 20-01375, property address is 1038 West 10th Street. Owners, as stated in the agenda, violation is for Florida Building Code Section 105.1, permit required. Date of violation is, Data violation 2/24/2020 to be corrected by 3/25/2020. Reinspection date of 10/22/2020. As of yesterday, violations still exist. Case will be continued to the January 26, 2021 CEB hearing.
So we're gonna continue the case until when? January?
January 26 CEB hearing. Code Enforcement Board hearing.
CEB. Okay, that's a new one for me, so, okay. All right. Do you need anything else from me on that?
Just make a ruling that it got.
That there is a violation or this will be continued until January 26, 2021 for a code enforcement board hearing. Okay, so page 26, case 02218, address 625 Mario Trail, I guess.
That's
That's a summary.
Oh, I don't have anything on here.
Yeah, that was a summary disposition this morning.
They did it before the hearing.
Oh, okay, I was like, I don't have anything on here, okay? So that one's summary, so I don't need to write anything, okay. So page 27, case 02814, address 2052 East Edgewood Drive, code enforcement officer Carlos Cruz.
Carlos Cruz, Building Inspector, City of Lakeland, case number PER 20-02814, property address 2052 East Edgewood Drive. Owners as stated in the agenda, violations for Florida Building Code Section 105.1, permit required. Date of violation 6/23/2020 to be corrected by 7/23/2020. Reinspection date of 10/13/2020. As of yesterday, violations still exist. City asked for compliance by 1/10/2021 or a $50 a day fine be imposed. They installed, they did electrical work. They did some interior remodeling with new mechanical systems installed, all which require a permit to be done.
All right, so I'll find there is a violation and take your recommendation. They'll have until January 10th, 2021 to come into compliance or a $50 fine per day thereafter. And court is adjourned. I'm definitely doing this.
We got one more.
Oh, you got one more, you said?
We got one more.
Wait, I don't have any more. Wait.
Page 28.
Yeah. Oh, because they came up and, okay, I'm sorry. I had something written down, but then I crossed it out. So page 28, case 03419, address 4825 North Road 98, code enforcement officer Carlos Cruz.
Carlos Cruz, Building Inspector, City of Lakeland, case number PER 20-03419, property address 4825 North Road 98. Owners as stated in the agenda, violations for Florida Building Code Section 105.1, permit required. Date of violation 7/29/2020 to be corrected by 8/28/2020. Reinspection date of 10/30/2020. As of yesterday, violations still exist. City asked for compliance by 12/21/2020 or a $50 a day fine be imposed. They installed 3 additional signs without permits.
And you said what was the date for compliance?
12/21.
I thought so, but I want to make sure. All right, so I'll find there is a violation. They'll have until December 21st, 2020 to come into compliance or a $50 fine per day thereafter. Thank you. Now we're adjourned.
Now we're done.
Okay.